And welcome to the Rainbow Six Pro League on console. Tonight on Xbox, the number one place for competitive Rainbow Six esports. On console, joining me is the head of chat esports. He will be the caster for the night.
Yep. I'm very excited. I don't think I'm gonna do that great, but we'll see.
Hey man, there's plenty of opportunities. As far as Challenger League casting, maybe not doing play-by-play, but doing analysis. Tonight we have Team xGen versus Quacked Esports, as you can see by the title or by the wonderful graphic that I painstakingly put together in about 10 minutes. That was wonderfully provided by
just missing the logos,
OBS.
to be honest.
Yeah, and that's really, I'm just not going to put out the logos if I don't have logos for both teams, and I don't have xGen's logo, so I'm not going to put it out there. xGen is a team who's thinking about joining the league. They wanted to scrim a team in the league to try and get a feel for it, and Quacked was the only team available, the disputed best team in the league, one of the top teams in the league for sure. So we'll get a good gauge of whether xGen will be joining the Pro League or not. We are looking to change up the rules a little bit for the Pro League because of the amount of interest we've had in Challenger League. Teams just wanting to try it out before they actually get a chance to join the Pro League. So we're trying to figure out how we can change up those rules. So we may have more teams in Challenger League this year, but then that swaps next year because all the teams who joined who just wanted to try it out and they do well in Challenger League, then they'll be, hey, we did super well in Challenger League, we might as well move up to Pro League because we think we can compete on that level. So that'll be something we're looking towards. We're not sure how exactly to implement it yet, but that's something we're looking towards. Also, sorry for posting the wrong time on all of the social medias. I put 10 o'clock and it was a 10:30 start. I'm a goofball and take full responsibility.
Also, this will be like the second time we will see Mavericks playing on Quacked as a support role.
Yeah, that's going to be... Actually, have I seen that? I think I might have seen it once. But we're going to fully see him for a full game. Like kind of fit a new role. Obviously Unknown, he was the top fragger. I think he had like 76 kills or something in the old league. And moving from the easy top frag / semi carry role like Joystick of Empire fits into, I mean, it'll be very odd for him to be moved into that support role. However, we'll see how he adjusts to that, and if Quack still uses that fragging power as well as the utility of a support, like in a Hibana or a Bandit.
It should be a very good match. I think I've known xGen kind of for a while. They used to be Elite Esports, and I forgot what they were called before that. I think it was OSK. But I know who Uligi, I think, is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I personally have never heard of him. I'm relatively new to the esports scene on Rainbow Six. I did a bunch of game battles for MLG, and that's pretty much the extent of what I did. But I'm familiar with Quacked and those top teams, and so I know Quacked well enough to know that they are very polarized on border, and it really just depends on how they're feeling that night, I guess, because it's either like they either do really well or they don't do so hot on border. So we'll see what they have in store tonight.
I think it should be a very good match. Hopefully we see some new strats though from Quacked in this.
Yeah, they've... Oh, that's right. I accidentally exposed the bans. Whoops. They've been trying out they've been trying out a bunch of new strats, at least in their couple scrims that they've done. So I don't know. We'll let's see if they throw anything weird at us. So I just want to make sure you're getting decent audio. Are you?
Yeah, I'm getting decent audio.
Okay, good. So yeah, now we're just waiting on Quacked. They were, I think they were the ones they were the ones who pushed it back to 10:30 originally. I wasn't entirely wrong in the original start, but I goofed. I never corrected it. And then by the time I realized I never corrected it, it was like 10:07 or whatever. There's Orius. All right, so they're trickling in. Still shooting for that 10:30 start time after I've made a horrible mistake. Special announcement for those of you who decided to join us a little bit early. Well, we have whoops. We are going to have I don't want to say a Founders Tournament, an Origins Tournament. Thank you for the follow. An Origins tournament with only old Pro League teams, December 15th. So just kind of like a throwback for fun tournament. Not sure when it will start, or how many of the original teams will be there, but I'm pretty sure Quacked will be there. We'll have Team Clarity, formerly Talon Esports. I believe Decadence is going to be there. Whatever they are now. I think Vital, which is the unknown guys who realized what was going on and got out as soon as possible.
I know Alpha Shot changed their name to Vanquish.
Yeah. Was it Vanquished or Vanish? I forget.
I think it's Vanquish. I can check.
Yeah,
they're Vanish.
Vanish. Yeah. Was that they left? Oh, no, that made a new org. That's right.
Yeah, I guess the old one or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, they left their old org and made a new one. But
yeah, they're big investors, I guess, into the league. Not that they've invested a whole buttload of money, but that they've invested a lot of time and energy into preparing for the league, getting better in general. We really appreciate about them. They've been really nice to us. Vanish.
They weren't like the top team in Pro League, but they had a solid roster. I feel like for a lot of the bottom teams, it was probably good for the Pro League in a way for that to end, give them a lot more time to prepare.
Yeah, and they were always competitive too. That's the thing. They had a really tough schedule in the first couple weeks. They had a tough schedule for the 5 weeks, I believe, that season lasted. And it was, they competed against a lot of the top teams. Just the way the schedule worked out was so weird. A bunch of the top teams played a bunch of the quote-unquote lower-tier teams at the beginning of that season. And so it kind of made the league seem really imbalanced when really it wasn't that imbalanced. And if you watch the games, there weren't very many completely one-sided games.
It's going to be really interesting to see the preseason, to see how many teams will put in their subs to get them some experience.
Yeah, that's something that I'll be interested to see as well. I know at least for Quacked, I've seen Coleman play in one of their scrims. Trying to get him some experience. I don't have the roster up and don't have the capacity to pull it up right now. Yeah, I know Quacked has tried to implement some of their subs. I believe when they were alpha shot, they had a scrim that I watched where they implemented a couple of their subs as well. So it is these preseason matches are a very good time to get your subs experience, get people in and at least have experience at this level of play.
And I know Vanish picked up nicely, former Sacred sub player.
Oh,
I
yeah,
saw him
yeah,
play
yeah.
in the game against Decadence.
Yeah, that's a good pickup, and at least in my opinion, Knisley was a good player. I'm gonna be honest, the only reason he didn't start on Sacred was because Sacred was such a good team that even a really good player like him couldn't quite.
Yeah, and I picked up former Cynical, I think, sub/coach Odin, who's now on Vivid.
Yeah, Odin was like strictly Talon, and then when they made the transfer, Odin didn't want to transfer over from Talon to Cynical, so he left and went somewhere else. I'm getting thumbs up. So the bans, real quick, by the way, they decided to pre-ban just to get a little bit ahead of the game. We had Thermite, Buck, Mira, and Pulse. The Thermite and the Mira were xGen's pick, and the Buck and the Pulse were Quack's pick. Those are very interesting bans. It'll be really weird to see how that plays out. Those aren't very typical bans at all.
I wasn't really expecting Thermite. I would probably expect a Thermite as a ban for Quacked. Probably.
Yeah, especially with xGen starting on attack. I get the mirror ban for them, but I'm not sure I quite get that Thermite ban. I guess if they're thinking they run the Maverick Hibana that we're seeing, yeah. That kind of justifies it a little bit more, but nothing really can fill the
Pulse
role
ban
of that.
is really interesting as well.
Yeah, that you don't really see a Pulse banned unless you're looking to combat a specific strategy.
I was really thinking more probably maybe Echo, if I had to guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's the typical, the Echo, Maestro, Smoke. Maybe I've seen Legion banned more and more as well. So we'll see how the Pulse and the Buck bans play out. That'll be really odd, because generally with the Buck, I understand if it's the armory lock, if you're banning the Buck for the armory lockers reason, so that he can't pop out the floor, well, that's why you have an Ashe or a Zofia or an IQ. Like, all of those operators can do the same exact job as the Buck. I guess.
Maybe you're just trying to stop it as going faster.
Yeah.
Because the Buck does his job, I think, a little bit faster.
Yeah. And with the ability to completely open up that floor, you don't have quite that.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Quite that ability on those other operators. And all you.
Bomb located by attackers.
Oh, you're good. All you. Oh, yeah. Good to go.
Armory will be the first defense, I guess. Armory.
10 seconds remaining.
It's called lockers. I forgot.
Yeah.
Should be an
5
interesting
seconds
one.
remaining.
I'm kind of surprised that the teams.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Really,
Attackers
the
are heading out to defuse
main
the bomb.
sites to me is probably Armory and Workshop ventilation.
Yeah, those are generally the two better sites to go. However, with them being played so often, they're pretty well known by the attackers as well.
Disabling
So far we're seeing an all balcony-sided attack.
Already in part of that wall open. Wait, I think the bandit got him.
Yep.
Loading back.
I wonder if they'll try to, where bandit is playing right now, try to attack on the Sophia or the Ash.
Yeah, that would. I mean, that's where the buck ban, I guess, is coming in handy. But Maverick's sitting very close to there, making sure that that doesn't happen.
Mavericks could get 2 kills. They'll get the kill onto the Sophia.
Good kill there, using up that utility. However, that hole in the floor has been opened. Yeah, so that makes that bandit trick significantly less effective now. The issue is getting someone down there to be able to hold it.
And it was a really good pick considering the Sophia could do a lot more damage than it did. But that's where I guess the Ash comes in if they want to continue doing what the Sophia was supposed to do.
Some shots being traded between Mavericks and Ivana.
And the bandit will go down. And Jaeger is Maverick's still injured.
Nice kill there by the Ash of Eulogy.
Cutting up a lot of rotations. I don't think they have any more room.
It's a little prick.
So far, it's just all angle holds on the
15
defense.
seconds remaining.
It's really gonna be interesting to see how far should probably need to have that
5 seconds left.
No
Operators, you are
time
out of time.
left on the clock. Quacked, able to lock that one out as the goo mine prevented the Ash of Eulogy from planting. A good attempt there by Team xGen. Really, they kind of got screwed over there by the Legion a bit, but also they started off that round really slow. As you saw at the beginning of the round, they had all 5 people on the west side of the building trying to attack that balcony, and then it didn't quite work. They got almost all of their X-Kairos zapped off the wall there by the bandit. That kind of failed, and from there you just kind of had to get around it with Maverick a little bit, open up those holes, contest the angles, make sure that Quacked can't directly contest you from like behind the half wall. And then it was a good multifaceted attack, but really that round kind of revolved around the late round Legion mine and the inability of xGen to open up the wall.
And we'll see Monty switch to Ying, and I feel like a big part of that round win was Jaeger getting the kill onto Sophia,
Defenders,
because it
protect your
wasted a lot
bombs
of
from
time
being defused
on
by
the
attackers.
Ash's part.
Yeah, having to read drone and just use your ears, watch the surrounding area, just make sure that it's not
Bomb located
that
by
the Jaeger
attackers.
isn't still near you. I believe it wasted about a minute and a half of the Ash's time trying to go after that roamer. Yeah, especially, again, we are playing with the Pro League rules. You don't get points for when you down someone, so that 10-15 seconds there that was wasted, just trying to make sure that Jaeger isn't still alive and going to kill you is 10 or 15 seconds that could have been used for a little bit of an earlier push to the site.
I really like so far Quacked esports' defensive setup.
Yeah, and bringing along a castle this time on Vazdix, making sure that
It's making the top 4 holds.
yeah, Quacked really incorporating the whole top floor, and a good read really by Quacked. They saw that the attack was slow last time, so they're kind of counting on that on a slower attack this time, so they bring along the castle to make it even slower and try to ensure themselves an easier round win.
It's gonna take them a long time, so they have to drone the entire top floor. Cause you know they're gonna be defending the top now, and you gotta see how many people will be. It looks like they'll be pushing, doing a lot of top floor push right now too.
Yeah, with a heavy top floor investment. Comes a heavy top floor push. I believe, yeah, Mavericks and Oreo's the only 2 on-site players.
That will be a big kill onto the castle. It's still a good kill considering Vazdix is left again.
Unfortunate lag out.
Defender has left the designated staging area. Drop the bomb diffuser.
Nice double kill there by Mavericks. A good flank from the security room. And he could catch the Hibana here. Doesn't hear the Hibana running to his right. Maybe he does.
A lot of bullets. And it doesn't.
See
Really
here?
interesting gunfight. I would have thought the Hibana would win that because how many bullets.
Yeah, however, with no intel on where exactly the Jaeger was, that makes it significantly harder to know if the Jaeger is in one armory lockers or if he's rotated back. It allowed Mavericks to get a little bit of an advantage in that gunfight.
I feel like that top 4 push did really kill a lot of time for them, considering how many they lost, and it was a head-on gunfight kind of situation.
Yeah, and it's a good time the rotations too from Quack.
10 seconds to go. Attackers have
Yeah,
recovered their
we can
diffuser.
get this.
5 seconds left.
Good smoke kill there by Hassel. Oofies finishes off Big Mac's cream through the floor. Good vertical angle being used there by him.
2 really good rounds, I think, defensively by Quacked. Be interesting to see how if they'll go for a heavy CC hold and if they go ventilation. I mean, not ventilation, customs.
They're actually gonna maybe
Bathroom tell is.
that's
It's gonna be an interesting strat if they say to go there.
yeah, that is really interesting because bathroom towers is generally depicted as kind of a really bad site. Is Vazdix? Yeah, Vazdix is back in. All right. Not just like a bad site for the map, a pretty terrible site in general. It's obviously the worst on the map, but it's one of the worst in the game. I mean,
It's really hard to. You can't really hold it vertically other than really the hatch.
yeah, you can only hold above the actual teller's office, and there's no rotate that can't be easily cut off from between the sites. Whereas customs has actually, again, it's harder to hold. It's significantly bigger. There's a lot more. You have to maximize your utility use to a T on customs, but it's way more defendable, and has actually been slipping in sometimes as a secondary site option.
And it's really interesting that they're not bringing a castle or maybe a bandit or mute to stop that wall and tellers, because of the window they could open that and easily take out the bandits. Maybe with a castle they could slow that down.
Yeah, and I mean that's where the bathroom tower
Attackers
site
need to
in and of
locate
itself
and
is
defuse bombs.
generally a horrible pick because, I mean, yes, there's that strategy, but that's easily countered by an Ashe or a Zofia, so that's why I mean, you can bank on them not bringing a soft breacher, but generally teams are going to have, at the very least, a Thatcher or a Twitch that can take care of that. So generally, you just want to seed that little corner and try and hold it from up top. But yeah, with the lack of a castle, that significantly reduces the amount of impact you can have up top.
10 seconds to go.
Bringing echoes in time. It's gonna be pretty hard.
5 seconds to go.
Maestro, or maybe they can distract them enough with that.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser. Attackers are moving to defuse the bomb.
And we'll have to see, and we'll see where this Monty plays in. Comes into play as well.
Monty and Blitz.
They're running the shields. That generally comes from a place of just lacking the ability to win significant gunfights. Yeah.
Or it could be as you go to distract the enemy drawn into the open.
You see a bit of a right there as the Monty on Repel rips down a lot of Uthvi's health.
Needle set.
Will now be pushed by multiple members. What a shot!
What a kill onto the Ash.
Loading mag. Loading mag.
Wow, team kill
And
from
already a 2 versus 5.
team kill onto your blitz. Not a great scenario, and then losing the gunfight. Not a whole lot you can do in that situation.
I feel like the Blitz could have been a little bit more aggressive, but I don't feel like the way was to go for a complete top floor sweep. Because we kind of seen that last 2 rounds now.
Yeah.
They pushing hard top floor.
Yeah, and that's part of that comes from good, just good strats from Quacked. But I think you're right with the just the blitz not being nearly as aggressive as he should have been. Again, the reason that you bring someone up there with the blitz is so the blitz can rush the Legion playing inside of armory lockers, and you have someone else there to watch the blitz's flank so he doesn't get taken from the main hallway, and you can get an easy kill. But with that little bit of hesitation there, that allows the Capcan to rotate back upstairs and get a crossfire on anyone who attempts to try and hold that flank. Get a crossfire onto the blitz if he wants to try and run up. And I mean that's just something that requires impeccable timing, and even then, a perfect shot. If you're on the attack right then, is to rush the blitz and then try and take out the man getting a crossfire on him before he can kill your blitz. Even then, it's really a 50-50 shot that you have if you have a perfect shot and perfect timing. So, not just the lack of early aggression there really hurting.
Bomb located by attackers.
And now it's people have a really good their foresight now, which will really help.
Yeah, being allowed to go back up top will definitely help. Definitely help.
10 seconds left. 5 seconds
Let's see the
remaining.
echo again this time. So we know my extension will probably
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
when Quacked
Attackers are moving
goes
to defuse
upstairs.
the bomb.
You shouldn't expect
Attackers'
an
bomb
echo.
diffuser has been dropped. Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
I kind of feel like this thermite, the xGen band is kind of hurting the brand.
Yeah, and these preseason matchups too are they're always significantly different from Pro League. Not only because you have it's scrimming teams. It's not. These are all teams trying out new strats, trying out new operators, new players, and it's wow. All right.
Trying to as a role, see if they would be better on that role.
Mavericks playing offices. A little bit different from what he has done in the past. Vazdick's running the shotgun for that close range
I think
engagement.
Blitz is still downstairs in the main lobby. But yeah, I think Blitz is now rushing him through these stairs.
Yep, and this is where you need the Blitz just needs to bring someone with him so that he can have unhaltered aggression. Mavericks.
Losing that gunfight as the Blitz. Don't know if it was the right decision to maybe run up to him and flash him. I feel like could have won him there.
Yeah, I mean that's really a 50-50 shot right there that you have, especially going up against Mavericks, who is going to win most of his gunfights anyway. You either take the chance that, hey, he could be reloading, I could get an easy kill here, or if you try and run up the stairs, it's like, hey, I'm going upstairs as a shield, I'm exposing myself a little bit, and Mavericks is a good enough shot that he'll win that fight.
Luckily, they do still have Blackbeard, although he's really low in health, which could possibly cost them a gunfight.
Vazdick's finishing off the Capital, making this a 2v3.
A really nice. He's still on the echo though,
Attackers
which
will
will
cover the
probably
diffuser.
come very handy, very big handy for him.
Yeah, with 2 plant deniers and the Echo with both the Yokais out, I believe. There's
15
not a
seconds
lot
remaining.
that can be done.
Diffuser. Maybe I
10 seconds remaining.
with just for the sake that Twitch could survive from. Dying to the human. Outplayed, bro.
I mean, you hate to see it, really. You
Yeah.
really hate to see it. But yeah, that's. I mean, you really got put in an. Yeah, you got put in an unfortunate scenario there. With the Blitz trying to rush downstairs, down those stairs, and having someone coming around his flank, you've got 2 options right there. Is either you fully commit to that Blitz, you go all the way downstairs, and you watch his flanks as he's going through that main lobby, or you just flank watch. Just watch those stairs, watch the main hallway, make sure that no one comes behind the Blitz. That exposes your Blitz to the direct attack, but you're covering his side. So it's a difficult decision to make, and it's a spur of the moment thing that can really be the difference between both of you dying or both of you living and a good flank watch kill.
And we will be seeing Oreos now on Valkyrie this round.
Yeah, trying something new. They've seen the heavy plant denial work with the Legion Smoke Valkyrie. And another thing that we're seeing too is Mavericks is kind of being given the roamer role back that he, at least in the past, after he's joined Quacked, he has been much more of a support role on defense as well as offense. But being given back that role onto the Jaeger, not doing too shabby with 6 kills.
He was supposed to be a while ago. I think in Go Force for sure. I last remember talking to them. He was their fragger. So seeing him on the castle is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
10 seconds to go.
I mean, that's something that can change throughout the
5 seconds.
throughout the course of the season, depending on how players are playing each play.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
Spastics.
Defender is approaching. Defender is exposed.
They'll rip
Is that
in-
the Mavericks he lit up?
Yeah, I'll rip into Mavericks. Spastics is, I mean, that's his own internet right there, is that high ping.
Either way, he didn't get hit at all, so that it's a really, even though he didn't get the kill, it's gonna help him later on.
And I really think this This thermite ban is hurting. It's hurting him right now.
Mavericks knows that Monty's outside the door.
And so that's going to be
They
a
could try to shoot below because the under the door
Swapping mags.
floor is open. So we'll see if they try to go for that.
good drone.
Almost getting a wall man onto I think was it Mavericks or was it?
Yep, Mavericks. Now let's take Blue side of him. The Monty being able to call out to his teammates, open up the Legion.
I was thinking Legion was probably gonna win that fight if he wasn't forced to turn around. Monty would either have to die to the blue mine or
Bomb
try to win
located
the
by
fight.
attackers.
Yeah, a significantly better roam clear there from xGen, being able to take care of both bombers and only lose one body. However, they've lost two now. It's Vazdix. Vazdix with the late roam. Finishing off, he will die
Attackers have recovered their
to the
diffuser.
L852. 40 seconds left. Missed shots.
Gizmo just can't hit the shots onto to lead the Valkyrie.
Defender has left the designated
yeah,
station. Attacker bomb diffuser has been dropped.
As the Valkyrie, as Oreos has rotated his way up top, finishes off.
that's the fuser too. That's gonna twitch a lot of time.
Yep, good job there. That was just a very good job by Quacked. They had their rotations on point as far as the late roams from Vazdix and Oreos, both picking up 2 kills each, really destroying that attack. And that's
Really, they lost the Legion pretty early too.
Yeah, losing the Legion early was definitely a hit. Losing the Jaeger early was a hit, and that is full credit to xGen. They had a terrific roam clear, and they really executed that roam clear well. However, once they got top floor control, they had absolutely zero flank watch, and no drone work up there. They had one person dead. That's where you put a drone on each set of stairs and be like, hey, just flip back and forth between these things, make sure we don't get flanked. Of course, that obviously didn't happen. There were no calls, and 2 nice rotates there by Quacked, completely unchecked, resulting in a round
This
win
is
there.
really interesting. They're gonna be bringing the fuse and switching finger teeing. Maybe their hope is, oh, never mind. They will not they will switch it to Monty. I was thinking they were gonna go Ying and probably try to flash him and then fuse.
Yeah, that's... I mean, of course that's a more effective strategy if they're on if xGen went a first floor bomb site, because there's not a whole lot of opportunity for Quacked to kind of do that on armory lockers.
Attackers
So maybe
need to locate and defuse as many
setting
bombs
up
as
for
they
the
can.
wrong site, especially with a blitz. A blitz, I mean, obviously always annoying to deal with, but generally not quite as effective on the armory lockers, just because of the fact that he has to go upstairs, and as a shield being put on a balcony, the job generally is to move in front of and out of the way of that doorway just to gather intel. You have an indestructible shield in front of you.
Bomb located by attackers.
So, but that obviously leaves you vulnerable to easy flanks. So we'll just have to see how
It's
that.
gonna be also really interesting to
Attackers
see
recover
how
the diffuser.
the Ella comes
Attackers
into
are
play.
heading out to defuse a
See
bomb.
how if she can slow it down.
Yeah, especially with a heavy shield lineup with the Blackbeard face shield count, Monty and Blitz. Mavericks having some issues.
Having a lot of issues on
Get through it eventually. full security CC control. Quacked. No heavy roam.
So the blitz, that's gonna be pretty big.
Yeah, Blitz an extremely annoying operator to fight against.
Defender has been recovered.
And they will get the fuse. I don't know how big of how important the fuse was to that push.
Yeah, not specifically an impact kill right there, but a good run out, and it puts the numbers in your favor, which that feeling of momentum is really good.
The shield. It could have almost been a 2-on-1 fight. I don't know if he would have won that.
Rotating all the way back through the downstairs. We're seeing a very good heavy roam defense from xGen.
When Blackbeard getting the kill,
Attackers dropped the diffuser.
Maestro.
However, that
It was a really
frag.
good kill, and it's a little bit unfortunate for I think
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Maestro, but I'm gonna go up against that Blackbeard.
However, needs to refrag will turn it back into a 4v2, and still many roamers to deal with. This will be a tough win.
And now it's just up to the Monty.
Nice flank there from Big Mac. Finishing off Monty.
A good defense around, I would say, from xGen. Really good roam. It was a really, it kind of favored them when they got the blitz. I think a little bit. Gained the blitz and fuse early on in the round. Shifted the momentum, I think, a lot into their favor.
Yeah, definitely. It was a good early pick, and obviously that now you have to swap the Monty in, and without the Monty to watch the blitz's back, as the blitz is dead, now you have to have someone to watch the Monty's back on those on that balcony, and it really takes away a lot of the utility from wherever your attack is coming from, and so
And the shield pushes were more. It was kind of weird because they were more like the shields were more pushing on their own from what it looked like. No one really behind them.
yeah, and I mean once the blitz died, the Monty moved over there, and he had someone start to rotate over towards him. But just a very good dynamic roam game there from xGen. Kind of shut down any chance that Quacked really had to win that round, even with their incredible gun power.
Bomb located by attackers.
That, of course, we've seen on display over and over and over again.
It's gonna be interesting to see how xGen will hold this site and how Quacked will how they push it. I know I've seen them play on this map before, and I've seen them play against this site. And where the thing I was watching one of the extremes. Really good at taking the top floor in our
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
I think
5 seconds left.
Good run.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing about Border is if you
Attackers
know how to
recovered the
take
diffuser.
Armory
Attackers are heading out
extremely
to the
well, and I guess by extent you know how to take CC really well, you can really compete with any team on that to a certain extent. You can compete with almost any team if you know how to take those spots.
And it's really good as an attack team if you can gain the armory top floor control to go ventilation workshop. Just because you can attack from above really good vertically.
Yeah. Oh. Jaeger.
That was pretty bad fight, I feel like, for the Jaeger.
Yeah, good peek. Not sure where he got down from. He will be picked back up. But a kill onto the castle up top gives good top floor control. Actually, full top floor control after some drone work for Quacked. And that was maybe a little bit too early of a rotate back downstairs.
Yeah, I was wondering. I think it was what's called the Zofia. Opened that up, or it could have been Legion trying to get Jaeger out of it, and Zofia just happened.
No, the being thrown through the floor. So really where that, when you see the top floor that early, unless you want to go for a retake with the Jaeger, you're really kind of seeding the round
Right now onto the defenders. With the Zofia already in sight, you gotta be a little bit panicked if you're a Legion.
Attackers activated. Attackers need to protect the diffuser. Position compromised.
Oh,
You're trying to go forward or run out, or just go for a peek. Tough loss, like for action. I feel like they made a little bit too early mistakes in the rounds that caused the win.
yeah, and just, I mean, again, xGen just kind of forgetting those little minute details that in the end lose you rounds, like just forgetting to take a full flank watch up top when you're attacking the ventilation workshop site, allowing yourself to get flanked like that in that round. Just the early rotate downstairs gives the attacking team significantly more time to be able to craft a significant push onto your site defense, and no attempt at going back upstairs to try and roam that out. So yeah, a good,
And it is against the best team in the league.
arguably the best, one of the top teams in the league is what we'll
Yeah.
say.
Top 3 for sure.
Yeah. Definitely a very, very good team in Quacked. And a good fight put up by xGen. Again, you must remember, Quacked has played together for, so long. And they have very good team chemistry amongst, even amongst all their subs. Very good team chemistry, very good, well-developed strats. xGen, I know they've obviously all been playing for a while. They're all very good players individually. However, again, in the Pro League, if you don't have really good team chemistry, really good team strats, it's really hard to be successful in the Pro League. And I think that's just kind of what we saw tonight, was experience winning out. Coleman just wants to have his gamer tag on the stream. I can guarantee you that. I will pay you $20 if Coleman isn't inviting me just to get his name on the stream.
It was a little bit unfortunate that they weren't able to do what they wanted to do on the top 4 pushes.
Yeah, definitely. xGen, I mean, they were very hit or miss on their top floor push. It was either they pushed it really well, but they gave up the flanks early, or they just didn't really push it well at all. I mean, again, they had operators in position to watch flanks, but the main push of the top floor just wasn't effective. So, yeah, it was either one part was wrong or the other part was wrong, but never both right and never both were wrong. So just trying to coordinate that together in the future for xGen would likely help them out a lot as a team. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been the winter preseason for the Rainbow Six Pro League on console. Thank you so much for your viewership. Thank you so much for your support. Again, we will have the December 15th tournament, the original teams, as many of them as can make it, at least. I know we have at least 4 confirmed. I'm hoping to get 8 of the 10. I haven't talked to every single team about exactly when they can make it. We will announce that on the Instagram, on the Twitter page, as that information becomes available to us. So December 15th, look out for the mini tournament, and January 14th, the winter season will start as per previously scheduled. You want to give us a send-off?
Thank you all for tuning in, I guess. Hopefully I do better next stream. And have a good night, I guess.
Have a good night, everyone.